We just begin with small prayers. Om Gyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namah. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Very happy to be back with all of you. Thank you very much for giving out your valuable time. We'll resume our discussion from the topic Discovering the Happy Planet. We discussed a lot of concepts last time, wherein we also discussed how actually there's a spiritual world, the kingdom of God, where real life exists, where there is actual happiness. And in this world, we perceive happiness which is temporary, which is not long lasting. And it's actually illusory also because it doesn't seem like it is happiness. It's not actually happiness. And happiness of this world doesn't make any sense. And yes, correct, there is some sort of happiness also in this world in terms of family, in terms of relationships, but that's also temporary because after we, like the body finishes, all these aspects are like they're lost. So one doesn't remain happy all the time. And we don't remain happy all the time, but inside us, we always have that tendency that we wish to be happy and we wish to be always happy. That's our basic need, right? So therefore, today we'll be discussing how to achieve that kind of experience, how to achieve that kind of mentality, how to achieve that kind of happiness. What's the formula for that? So today we learn this ABCDE formula. This is very basic, right? ABC of everything. This is a very basic concept, ABCDE. Okay, so everyone can note it down, you can remember this. Very important principle. So we'll discuss today on this. What is A, B, C, D, E? How do we discover real love? How do we discover that happy planet? And how do we actually go to that place where we experience that divinity? Okay. So A, B, C, D, E. What does A stands for? Just a second. Yeah. So this A, B, C, D is for aligning with God and nature of God. A, B, C, D
Is
of
it not association, Prabhuji? Is it
yeah,
association?
yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. This is association. Yeah. So A stands for association, right? As the English saying goes, man is known by the company he keeps. And it's very, very natural. Whoever we associate with, we we adopt habits of that particular person, right? Many times it has been even statistics reveal in this world, why do people drink and smoke? Almost more than three-quarters of them, they believe that why do they drink and smoke? They started drinking and smoking just because of peer pressure. How do people start? They are at a function, or they are in their office, they're in company, or they're with their friends, and some friend he insists them that please have a try, take a puff, take a drink, and that's how it all starts. So what affects them? The association, the environment affects them. That's the point. So association can convince us of anything. So when we are towards spiritual life, when we are aspiring spiritualist, whom do we associate with? Next option is books. B stands for books. Basically, Books means inputs. What kind of books we read? What kind of input we give to our mind? Because mind is like a machine. Whatever input we give to our mind, mind processes that. Can someone mention, you can type in the chat box or you can even unmute your mic. A question to all of you. What is the function of mind? Would someone like to respond? You can type in the chat box or you can unmute your mic also. You can raise your hand and unmute your mic. What is the function of mind? What does mind do? Then I'll mention the function of mind as per Bhagavad Gita also. What do you think is the function of mind? Okay, we have some response. Swatimat is saying thinking, okay. And iPhone is, I think, Olivia. It's my guess. iPhone is Olivia. And Amrita Mataji says to think, yeah. Swati Mataji, validate, exploring. Nicole is saying processing information, yeah. Nisreen Mataji, dissect, yes. Yeah, it's Olivia. Thank you. Yeah, I was right in my guess. Thank you, Olivia, for your response. Thank you, everyone, for your response. As per Bhagavad Gita, the job of mind, the function of mind is, you can remember this, thinking, feeling, and willing. Okay? So mind thinks, mind feels, and mind wills. Wills means it desires. So this includes everything, every function of the mind. So now thinking, feeling, and willing can happen. It will happen as per the input given to the mind. If the inputs given are wrong, are ghastly, the mind thinks, feels, and behaves and wills in a particular way. Suppose a criminal. A criminal thinks something else only. Someone who's a murderer. He murders someone, but he doesn't feel the sensitivity that there can be consequences. But he also has a mind. So mind thinks, feels, and wills as per the inputs given to the mind. So there's a principle in software engineering, in computer science called as, you might have heard of it, GIGO principle, GIGO. Anyone know the full form of this? GIGO principle? Any guess? You type in the chat box. GIGO, GIGO principle. What does it stand for? Okay, we have some response. I hope it's right. No. Okay. Anyone else? Any other wild guess? Yeah, Swati Mataji, correct. This is garbage in, garbage out. Okay. So how does it relate to the mind? I remember FICO. Yeah, FICO is also a principle, but yeah, that's in software engineering. But we are currently discussing in GIGO. GIGO means garbage in, garbage out. Now, how does it apply to our mind? Any reflections? Any response? How does this garbage in, garbage out apply to our mind? Any thoughts on this from anyone? Okay, we have some response in the chat box. Filtering. Yeah, Olivia, filtering. Could you please elaborate? What does it mean? Garbage in, garbage out. See garbage and think garbage. Yeah, yeah, correct. Anything else? Anything else? See garbage and think garbage. That's one of the forms, yes. Garbage in, garbage out. How does it apply to our mind? Whatever you feed it, it creates. Yes, Nasrin Mata, the correct response. Filtering what we hear and lead our mind. Yes, that's what we're supposed to do. But garbage in, garbage out. Thank you, Olivia, for your response also. Garbage in, garbage out means whatever we feed our mind, that we process. Okay. Because I'll give you a very relevant example. Whatever we give to our mind, that only mind processes. Now, Never possible. It's just impossible that we practice spiritual life. We wish to be pure. We wish to be genuine, but our inputs are from this material world. We're continuously hearing songs, movies, which are destructive. We are engaged in, we keep ourselves in company of people who are destructive. They can distract us. We develop habits which are destructive. And simultaneously, if a person he wants to be a spiritualist, he wants to practice spiritual life, it's just not possible. We need to develop those habits where we can purify our inputs. And therefore, we see sometimes when patient goes to the doctor, what doctor tells, what doctor prescribes? First of all, very important, doctor prescribes the medicine by which the patient will improve, correct? By diagnosis of the disease. And secondly, doctor prescribes what he's not supposed to do. Someone gets some liver disease, some typhoid and all. What doctor prescribes? He'll give him a medicine, a tonic, a pill that liver can be improved, digestion can be improved. Secondly, what he will prescribe? Please avoid fried foods, avoid too much oil. That's what is prescribed in medical science. And when someone has got some liver disease, some jaundice, what do they prescribe? What do they prescribe? They prescribe that we take some sugar candy, sugar cane juice, stopping alcohol. Yeah. And if there's some doctor, some dietitian, he tells us, do whatever you like, just take my medicine. That's just not possible. Just not possible. So if we want to achieve some purity, we want to achieve some benefit, we need to abstain ourselves from self-destructive habits. And therefore, the mind processes what we feed to the mind. To purify our mind, we need to have pure inputs also. Your inputs are pure, the company is pure, the books we read are pure. All right? So, this is A and B. C stands for chanting. All of you must have done that. If you have experience of chanting and kirtan, you can kindly type yes in the chat box. If at all you have some experience of chanting and meditation, and all of you must have experienced to some extent, it gives a lot of peace. It purifies our mind. It makes us still. It makes us immune from all distractions. And there's some benefit to that. Okay. So therefore, C stands for chanting. Regularly, we should make a schedule. We should be committed that some point of time we should chant for some time. To start with, actually, generally practice of spiritual life and I personally also, I meditate for 2 hours at a stretch. That is 16 rounds. But to begin with, in the starting, initially, we can start with 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some of you might be busy in work or might be busy in your work, household chores and all. We can start with 15 minutes, but those 15 minutes have to be committed, right? I think it must be around 8:30 in the night. Yeah, am I correct? Somewhere around 8:15, 8:30. So I believe, yeah, I believe all of you must be sleeping around 11 or 12, something like that. So if someone's sleeping by 11 or 12, we can get up by 6 or 7. After we freshen up ourselves, we take a bath. And before starting our work, we should sit down and chant and attentively hear for 15 minutes. That's how we can get started. Gradually, we can develop so much taste, we can develop such intensity that we can chant straight for 2 hours. And we'll notice that all our work, whatever we do, becomes so efficient. But this should start, chanting should start, because that's the actual process where our mind will be purified, will be free from all distractions. It's very, very important. It actually gives us experience to some other level only. Our perception changes, our mentality changes, our level increases. We don't think like normal human beings. Not that we become something paranormal, We don't sort of become abnormal. The point is, our perception rises. We transcend the dualities of this material nature. It purifies us. It gives us intense bliss. It connects us to God. Just for, so how we should begin? We should begin with 15 minutes. Okay. And you might also know, you might have also experienced chanting. You might also know how do we chant. Sometimes we can chant on our fingers. We can chant our counters, digital counters. Best is to chant on beats so that we have some tangible thing to touch and rotate and count. So this is chanting. C. D stands for diet. Diet is very, very important because food is something which directly affects our mind and consciousness. So therefore, and nowadays it's very much trending nowadays that people taking simple organic diets, you know, homemade food, simple diet, so that they think peacefully, their mind is peaceful. Diet is very, very important. Someone takes something which is agitating, right? And then there's something which is passionate. But people eat nowadays, they eat non-veg, they eat beef, meat, pork, chicken, whatever. If some of you might be doing it, it's not that it's very, very offensive, but we should gradually avoid that because that affects our mentality, that affects our mind. Gradually, we should be coming to, simple home cooked vegetarian food, especially going to the temple and taking prasad, taking the remnants of the Lord, taking food offered to the Lord. And that purifies us. Someone was asking me, I was talking to one person, one devotee, an ISKCON devotee. He was asking, what is prasad? When we go to temple, we get some prasad, food offered to the Lord. So he was asking me, I asked him, oh, what does prasad mean in English? Like prasad is a Sanskrit word. It means mercy of the Lord. Okay, mercy. So, but what does it mean in English? How do we translate prasadam into English? Because I didn't know the word. So he mentioned a very beautiful word, right? He said, prasadam in English means sanctified, lacto-vegetarian, karma-free diet. That's a long word, but that's what it means. It is sanctified. How it's sanctified? Because it's offered to the Lord as a token of our gratitude. Lacto-vegetarian means it is, yes, there are veggies and fruits included, grains. Includes milk also, not milk produced by violence to the cows, but which cows give naturally. So yes, milk is included. And nowadays there is so much of veganism in the West also. Yeah, so vegan diet is also included in that. Karma-free diet, that it's not sinful. It does not agitates us. Rather, it purifies us. Okay. So this is the meaning of prasadam. So when our diet changes, prasadam helps a lot. So our diet should be changed. And we should prefer to take more and more of prasadam, food offered to God. Whatever we cook, we offer to God with love. That because of you, my Supreme Lord, because of you, I am able to get this as my share. Okay. And E stands for engagement, right? As we have learned that as there's an English quote, I don't remember the exact quote, but mm, if you teach me, then I learn. If you involve, I don't remember and remember the exact words. The point is, whenever we want to learn something, get immersed in something, we need to get involved in something. So basically, if we want to become serious in spiritual life, if we are eager to see some benefits, we need to get involved. We need to be seriously involved. Okay. And we need to do something practical. Spirituality is a very practical process. Okay. We need to be involved and engaged in some sort of service to Lord. It can be in the temple, it can be otherwise at our homes, right? So we need to be involved. We need to have, we got to have some engagement, some spiritual engagement. It can be anything. All engagements are very, very exciting, right? Like it can be cooking, worshiping, making garlands, and inviting people for the programs. It can be anything. But there should be some engagement because our mind needs engagement. Mind's engagement is feeding the mind input, and body's engagement is, engaging all the senses. Our senses are currently engaged in the outside world doing different activities. So we should be engaged. We should do some sort of service, some sort of commitment, some sort of involvement in spiritual life. That's what helps, right? Because where do we get involved? We only get involved in places where we do things from our heart. We tend to get completely involved in our family affairs because we love our family. Okay. And why do we get involved in spiritual life? Because actually we want to wish to develop our love for God. So therefore we need to get involved. Some practical things we need to do. It can be monetary, financially, and we can going to a place and involving ourselves, doing some service, something for the pleasure of God. So these five principles when someone practices A, B, C, D, and E. Actually that person will derive some benefits, and we feel in our heart that eternal love in our hearts way, and when we practice it genuinely, we can achieve the result of spiritual life, which is unending bliss, unending happiness. And not just that, not just we experience it, but we distribute also it to others. But how does that happen? It happens by following this. We need to associate with devotees. We need to associate with people who are practicing spiritual life. And that's how we become spiritual. That's how we develop that taste that we become spiritual. Associating with favorable minded people. And B for books. We read spiritual books. So I appeal to all of you, whenever you get time, you can get some books, it can be Bhagavad Gita, some small book. At least read it for some time. Because when we read, we get actual knowledge. How we are different from this body, we can get connected to God. Yeah. So therefore, B stand for books. Okay. C stands for chanting. As I mentioned earlier, we should be committed to chant. Chanting helps. It helps in all respects. And we should begin with 15 minutes. 15 minutes, we should as they say, we should pronounce very clearly and hear attentively. And what is the mantra? All of you have already done. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You can take help of devotees on how to chant, how to begin chanting, how to chant, especially on beats, where we can count and keep commitment. That I'll chant for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, I'll chant 2 rounds. At least we can begin with that, and gradually we can rise. We can chant as much as possible because that's actually our connection to God. Because, and what's the meaning of that prayer? That prayer means that we wish to do some service to Lord. We have given time to this world and never achieved anything. Let's give some time to God. That's what that prayer means. Okay. D stands for diet, that we take healthy, sanctified diet, offering everything to God, avoiding non-vegetarian diets, meat, fish, eggs, and whatever. We take very simple, sanctified diet, and that's how we can become pure. And E lastly stands for engagement. We should become involved in spiritual life. Okay. So with this, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your patience and your attention. Any questions, comments, any take-home messages from all of you? Would someone like to please speak something? Anyone? Voluntarily, please. Yes,
Hello.
Olivia. Hi.
Hi. So what I take from this is it's very important what we consume in every way
Mm.
from just our environment to what we're directly putting inside of our body.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
important to be intentional about what we're around and
yeah.
how that influences our mind and um, ultimately staying clear through these decisions
Mm,
and keeping a closer connection with God
mm,
through these things.
mm. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Olivia. It's a beautiful response, beautiful take home message that we become what we consume. So we need to be consciously taking decisions. Thank you. Thank you very much, Olivia.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else, please? Yeah, yeah, yes, Nicole, please, please. Yeah.
Hi,
Hi.
Prabhuji. Thank you very much for sharing today. What I'm taking from this, and I'm just relating to what's happening with the world today. The garbage in, garbage out. I can honestly, and it's very unfortunate. I could tell you that over the last few weeks, especially since I haven't been joining because of a prior obligation. I've been doing exactly doing that. I'm just telling on myself again. Um, filling myself with what's going on in the world, and you're absolutely right. It does, in fact, weigh on you on your mind. I feel very outraged. I think that that's the word that I can come up with what's happening. So I've been consuming a lot of media, television, and the internet, and what's happening, especially with what's going on with the United States. So I just realized just leaving here today that I do actually have to go back to chanting and being of service, and the especially with the engagement. So I just want to thank you for sharing that, because it does in fact impact me. Your presentation did impact me today. And also, I just wanted to clarify, when you said the prosod, which would be the mercy of the Lord, you said it's the sanctified lacto, and I didn't get the third word, but
Yeah,
I don't know if I completely understand why, because when I'm thinking milk, lacto equals milk. Why lacto would be included in that, if we're supposed to be having a vegetarian diet?
yeah, yeah,
So I just wanted, I know I asked a three-part question. So the first one would be, what was the third word that you used after the sanctified lacto?
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'll clear. I was waiting for that question that someone will ask this. First of all, I'll clarify the term. The term is prasad,
Pers-
Prasada, or prasadam in Sanskrit, which actually means mercy of the Lord. I'll just type in the chat box also. Just a second.
Mhm. Mercy of
Prasad.
the Lord.
Yeah. Two ways to pronounce it. Mercy, Lord. Yeah. And okay. And the English term for that is like it's not English term. That devotee was just telling me humorously. It is sanctified lacto-vegetarian karma-free diet. Sanctified lacto-vegetarian karma-free diet. That's a full meaning. Now, coming back to your question, Nicole, it's a very beautiful question that you asked. Since if something is lacto, it means dealing with milk. How can milk be non-violent food offered to God? It's a very valid question, actually. The point is, uh, as far as science goes, nowadays there are the means which are devised to take milk from cows has become very, very violent based on machines and sometimes mixed with blood. It has become very, very inorganic, or to say very unnatural and violent, right? So therefore, whenever people think of milk, think of something related to milk or dairy, they think it is non-violent. And actually, this is happening in the world. This is happening in the world. It's very true. But the actual concept is, how do we actually derive milk from the cow? Cow is considered mother of the human society because the human brains are supposed to be developed, the finer tissues are to be developed by the fine milk of the cow. And how to take milk? We actually serve the cows. When we serve them, voluntarily they give milk. Some portion of that milk is kept for the calf and the calf so that it nourishes the body, but he cannot consume, even science admits that he cannot consume the entire quantity of milk. So therefore, rest of the milk, the nature, the material nature, Mother Nature has arranged in such a way that milk is necessary for the human development of finer tissues of brain. Even Ayurveda supports that, even science supports that. But the point is, there is a way to do that. We need to take care of cows, we need to feed them properly, like more than our own family members, like our mothers. And naturally, they give milk for our nourishment. And what has happened in today's world, they just keep cows like chickens in farms. And what do? They put machines in their udders and they just extract all the milk, giving nothing to the calf. They feed the calf unnaturally so that it grows, and they cut both the cows and calves, sell their meat and beefs. That's what has been happening in this world. So a natural conception has become that wherever there is milk, there is violence. But nowadays it is happening, but it's not the case everywhere. That's not the fact. And therefore, milk and food which is made from milk, it's very healthy for human body, very nourishing, and can also be offered to God because it comes out of love. The scriptures mention that even God, Sri Krishna, his favorite animal is the cow because the cow is a very peaceful animal, always wanting to serve by every means. But there is a way to do it. The world today has adopted, a wrong means to do that. And therefore, this concept of veganism has come around, and nothing should be taken from anything from animal is violence. But that animal provides us milk out of love. That's how it goes. But it has, so to say, the definition and maintenance has been perverted in today's world. I think that makes sense to some extent. It answers.
It does, yes. Thank you. I just wasn't sure why we would if we're supposed to be I think I'm just stuck in my head that if we're supposed to be vegan, even though it does it's supposed to come from love, if we're supposed to be vegan and eat from the earth, why would we take anything from an animal rather than just maybe I'm going too deep, but then just serve the cow, even, because it's still an animal product.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Good
So
point.
my
Thank you.
understanding is that we're supposed to only eat from the land itself, and not from another being, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Thank you very much. Good point. Now, let me be more clear. We don't take anything from the animals. Yes, that's very correct. Our food, our consumption has to be as non-violent as possible. And as you mentioned the point, it's a very nice point that we can survive on plant products, on plant-based products. But first of all, the concept is in Vedic scriptures and Vedic culture, the cow is never considered an animal.
Okay.
It is considered our mother. The psychology and the how it goes, let me explain it clearly. Even the elders, people of our age, even if we don't drink milk, that's not so much of necessary. But the finer cow milk is necessary when a child is growing. It requires mother's milk and it requires cow's milk because that milk is so subtle, it nourishes the finer tissues of the brain. Milk of other animals, that's also milk, but it directly nourishes just the body. It's a good source of calcium, good source of saturated fat, and we always learn that milk is a wholesome food. It nourishes the body, but the finer tissues of the body get nourished by milk. It develops a person completely in a completely different level. That's why for some time, for some part of the life, for some part of life, cow milk is necessary for a person. And we don't treat that as an animal. We don't treat her as an animal. We treat them as our mothers. In Vedic scriptures, it has been mentioned that cow is also one of the mothers of human society. So that's how we treat them. So it's not that we are extracting, it's not something like business. It's the favor of that particular cow to the human society as our protector, as our maintainer. That's how that's how it is in Vedic scriptures. But that mentality is completely perverted nowadays. So we just need to improve that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nico, for your question. Anyone else would like to share something? Avdesh Prabhu, Swati Mataji, Renu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Uh,
Krishna, Hare Rama.
I learned my new ABCs today.
Yeah,
So that was good.
thank you. I'll send the screenshot in the group also, so all of you can
Yes,
get that.
please.
Yeah,
Please. I like that, and I wanted to share with my friends also. So please do share if you can.
yeah, thank you.
Um, yeah. And yeah, I mean it's wonderful session. So definitely always something new to learn here. So thank you so much for sharing and sharing this knowledge. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Yes, Swati
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your time and helping us understand many beautiful things, which we are like kind of aware of it, but we never utilize it and do it in a proper way. And thank you so much, Prabhu. I really like the meaning of ABCDE, association books, chanting, diet, engagement. These are the things which everybody knows it, but we are not aligned to it, and we have to implement it in our regular day-to-day life. Thank you so much. And I really like the way you conveyed how milk is associated with the no matter it's an animal product, how in the real life today's generation, how we are like using cows and how people are like doing many bad things against the cow. When we say cow, we call it as mother cow because the she is like a giver all the time. She always keeps giving all the things like we say mother earth, she's like mother cow. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for explaining it so clearly in detail. Okay, and thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Swati Mataji, for your response. Yes, anyone else? Avdesh Prabhu, Nasrin Mataji, Amrita Mataji, Rachna Mataji. Yes, Nasrin Mataji.
Hi, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for a great session. I just have a question. Maybe you
Yeah.
have some
Yes.
suggestions. So we try to associate with good people to have good company, but what do we do about environments that we can't control, like work, for example, where you have to deal with people that maybe are not very uplifting? Wondering what you think.
Yeah, good
Thank you.
point. Good point. Thank you. Thank you, Nasrimat. It's a very valid question that we sometimes meet people who are not very uplifting and who are not very inspiring. They give very negative vibes. Sometimes their association affects us. So what do we do? And it happens everywhere. It happens to everyone. Okay. And so because sometimes we go in our companies, in our colleges, we tend to meet so many people and we get affected by their vibration. Actually, the solution is that more than taking their association, we should be giving them our association. Okay? And how does that happen? When we take so much of positive association, when we take so much of positive things in our life, whenever we reach in a negative state for even small portion of time, we'll remain immune. For example, we had faced COVID. It was lockdown in the entire world. Sorry, there was lockdown. No one was moving. Everyone was in their house. Okay. But Even if someone wanted to move to some other place, go out and do some shopping, what we used to do? Anyone? What we used to do if we wanted to go out during COVID lockdown? Anyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We used to wear mask and go, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we used to wear a mask, and there was there were guidelines that we should use sanitizer and wipe our hands and clean our hands. And whenever we need to, push buttons of lift, so we need to push them by our elbows like this, so that our hands. I hope you remember all of these guidelines, all governments. So what's
Yes, yes,
happening?
Prabhuji.
If we are going to an area, if we are going to an area where we can get affected by coronavirus, we are prepared in advance, wearing a mask. Okay. And there was also guideline that as soon as we reach the door, the gates and doors of our houses, we need to put off all of our clothes, put them in hot water and get on new clothes and wipe our bodies with towels. So if we are going to an area where it's possibility we can get affected, what do we need to do? We gotta take positive association and prescriptions more. So if we associate with devotees more, we chant more, we read books more. Whenever we meet with people who are not uplifting, it won't affect us. Our immunity will be so spiritual. Our immunity will be so high. We'll be so spiritually immune that not spiritually immune. We'll be so much spiritually uplifting that we'll become materially immune. Their association won't affect us. Rather, they'll get affected by our company. Okay, so that's how it has to be worked upon. Does that make sense, Nasreen Madhavi?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Prabhuji, I wanted to add one more question.
Yes, yes.
So when uh, when we meet people, okay, if they are not have like we are not able to make a good association with them, okay, this
Mhm.
is whatever you have explained, we'll try to follow it and we'll do it. But what if we have a good association and somehow we lose the people, then
Yeah,
how are we
good.
going to handle that situation?
Yes, yes, good point. Good point. Thank you. Yeah, that's also a very practical problem that if we have some good association and if we lose that, what to do?
Mm-hmm.
It can happen in many scenarios. Like someone living nearby temple, he takes association of good devotees, and somehow some things happen due to some obligation. We need to move away to some other city, or we need to go far away, and we cannot come regularly to temples. Nowadays, at least, it's all mercy of coronavirus that we have this facility of Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Meet. We can have Sangha, online, we can meet online, we can be in company of people. Even online things affect. Like these sessions we are having, these are online, right? I'm not present there offline, but we are meeting, discussing, meeting with each other. So at least there has to be some format of presence. There should be some presence in our life. If we cannot do it offline, there should be some online arrangement where all of us can come together, do kirtan, chant together, discuss something together, uplift each other. Some arrangement should be there. And even if we move to different cities, suppose I'm just giving a scenario, if we move to some different city, someone from Florida shifts to West Coast, California, he can find devotees there also. There are temples there also. There are people who are practicing spiritual life there also. So we need to, like as the saying goes, where there is a will, there is a way. So
But
we
if
should
the
be,
person leaves the world,
person leaves, that person only leaves the world.
mm-mm.
Yeah, if that person leaves the world, yes, that's also possible. If we are attached to someone and if we are in good association, that person leaves the world. It depends case to case. If that person is our family member, may not be a good devotee, but a very good person to associate with, yes, nothing can be done. If that person leaves the world, if he misses association, and if he's not a devotee, then actually we can practice. That's actually the truth of life, that no one is with us always. See, some changes have to be accepted. Not every situation can be changed. It has to be accepted that a person is normal for association. We like some people and they leave. That's what happens. That's the reality of this world, as we have heard, as sure as death. Okay. And as far as it goes with devotees, if we are attached to association devotees, some of them leave. So yes, we should be more connected to the teachings if the person leaves, and we need to look some other options also. Because yes, people will leave. That's the reality. People will leave. Either a person who's spiritual or the person who's material. People will leave the world some point or the other. Either they will leave or we will leave. That's the reality. And all of us will
Mhm.
stay together for all the time. But we should understand the concept that we should be situated in spirituality at any cost. We should always remember that we are something different from this body, and the soul has just transferred to different body, and the body is finished because the body is going to finish. That's the truth. So some things have to be accepted like that. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fatima Dari. Anyone else? Amrita Mataji, Rachna Mataji, Abdesh Prabhu. Anything? Any take-home messages or any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
I
Rachna
like
Mataji.
I like Prabhuji, the thing that you told about ABCD. That was the take home for me. And it is always said, "Jaisa ann vaisa man."
Hmm.
So when that ann is offered to the Lord, it becomes, becomes so purifying that it uplifts our consciousness. So we should always follow that, and we should go by it. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Rachna Mataji. Actually, that's what I remember whenever I talk of food, sanctified food. That's a quote which you mentioned, yes, and Vesam. That's what came to my mind. But since it was in Hindi, I didn't mention it. But thank you. Yes, Amrita
Oh,
Mataji.
thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Amrita Mataji, Avdesh Prabhu. Anything from your side? Okay, I think we can stop here. Thank you all very much for giving your valuable time. Thank you for patiently listening. Thank you very much. We'll meet next week, next session. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
Prabhu. Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.